Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday. It is the 10th day of January 2023. I hope you're safe and healthy today, and that your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field and the first responders who are out here every day trying to save lives. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep our streets, our sidewalks, our parks, our buildings, our stairwells clean and disease-free. Those that make deliveries also for our convenience, especially food, water, and things like mail. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help deliver, recover, and rescue the teenagers and the children who are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of prostitution and child prostitution. The victims also of pornography and child pornography. The victims of human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses on the wolves who are the perpetrators. Those who are the profiteers and the perverts who create this heinous industry. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, and mostly children living on the streets of the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night. The New York Knicks lost a very close game at the end to the Milwaukee Bucks. I thought the game was going to be close. I was actually surprised that the Knicks were playing and leading most of the game. The first quarter ended up tied, low-scoring game, 22 points apiece, and I expected that because Milwaukee is a top-tier team, former NBA champion, two-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Antetokounmpo on the squad with them, surrounded by shooters, built perfectly for a talent like that. So, you thought this was going to be that type of game, and it was. As you look at the game now, the Knicks played very well. Second quarter, they opened it up nice. They really started playing well in the third, but then Milwaukee started coming back. And what happened, there's a lot of statistics that you could look up for this game, but this is a common theme that I see in losses. Now, the thing is that it's a disappointing loss, but to be quite honest with you, in Knicks Nation, every loss, for most of us, is a disappointing loss because we want our team to win every game. But I'm noticing a pattern, and it showed up last night, and it's hidden. Now, let's look at some of the stats just to go over it. So the Bucks shot 39% from three, and the Knicks shot 27% from three. And you can see most of that was Julius Randle going 1 for 12. By the way, I just want to say right off the bat, Julius Randle, I was very impressed. He played a tremendous game yesterday. Okay, but he did go 1 for 12 from three, and that sunk our 3-point percentage. But that wasn't really the game, even though they did hit a lot of threes. We hit 91% of our free throws. The Knicks went to the line 22 times versus their 18, and they shot 78% of their free throws. The rebounding was, as I thought, even 48 apiece. They are a very tremendous rebounding team, but so are the Knicks. But here it was really one area. We had 8 steals. They had 3. We only had 7 turnovers. They had 14. There was 8 points off turnovers for us, 12 off turnovers for them. The fast break points were even. We got 14 more points than them, plus 14 in the paint. I mean, if you look at the stats, it looks pretty good. But there's one glaring problem that appeared last night, and again, it's a function of 3 players: Deuce McBride, Quentin Grimes, and Mitchell Robinson, and of course Jalen Brunson being the fourth, being the spoon that stirs the pot. The Bucks had 27 assists. 27. The Knicks had 16. Now, what does that mean? Why is that important? Why do I harp on it? Because first, it's a common theme in losses. But what it means is this, and I've heard all of these arguments. Tibbs is playing them on tired legs. That's crap for high school and college. It ain't for the NBA. You are paid to play 82 games in the NBA. Okay? And that's the way Tibbs looks at it. And that's the way I look at it. You are being paid a lot of money to play 82 games. So no, there's no tired legs. Everybody goes through ups and downs. Everybody has 82 games to play. People get tired. That's why the Bucks lost by 29 to Charlotte the other night. It could happen to anybody. So no, it wasn't tired legs. But let me explain to you, please. why this difference in assists has ramifications that have ripple effect. When you get 27-6, and if you watched that game last night for the Bucks, the ball was moving. And what happens when the ball moves? You make the defense work harder. They have to chase down shooters. They have to run from one side of the floor to the other because the ball is moving, just simply moving the basketball. Versus when you have only 16 assists, the ball is not moving. The defense doesn't have to work as hard, and they are less fatigued at the end of a game. Does that make sense to you? That's what was going on last night. Okay, Julius Randle was busting his tail. It was one of those really tremendous games, despite of the shooting. But we can't expect him to be nailing all of those threes every night. That's not him. But the defense, the hustle, the rebounding, the running the floor, the getting the ball on the low block and getting better shots. Julius was doing all of that as best as he could last night. I'm very impressed with him. But the Knicks were going too much. And Clyde even, and I thought it was just me, but then Clyde Frazier mentioned it last night. He said the Knicks are going too much one-on-one. He said not enough ball movement. Now, Clyde Frazier would know about that, being that he was one of the what's considered one of the 10 best teams of all time, where their classic mantra was hit the open man. See? So he knows about ball movement, and he said they're not moving the basketball. And I thought, he's right. And I was nervous about that, and I still am. They have to. This is on Jalen Brunson. Yes, he scored 44 points, but you see, he could score 44, and they can lose, obviously, because he's not getting his teammates involved. And again, case in point, the last time we lost, if you recall, I remember telling y'all that Quentin Grimes at that time played 37 minutes and only took 8 shots. Well, guess what happened last night? He played 34 minutes and only took 7 shots. He has got to get the ball more. You have to make sure, especially in the starting five, you got to make sure Quentin Grimes gets the ball and gets touches and gets open looks. It's going to help the whole team in multiple ways, okay? The times he did touch the ball, he was very effective. He didn't shoot well, but the movement, the passing, the setting up, the hockey assist, this kid could play. And then, of course, he's guarding Jrue Holiday most of the night. Now, Jrue Holiday, he scored, 15 points last night? He was 5 of 14. That's Quentin's, but at the end, see, in the last quarter, probably the last 3 minutes, he hits 2 major three-pointers. And then you had this dude, Ingles, 35 years old, coming off the bench. And that's all he can do is spot up shoot. And he got hot, and he hit 5 3-pointers, Ingles. That was the deciding factor. But again, that is the Bucks, were not working as hard on both ends of the floor. First of all, because the Knicks, Brunson's going one-on-one most of the time. So they don't have to work as hard. And then when they're on defense, we're not moving the basketball. So they don't have to work as hard on that. If you make them work hard during the course of a 48-minute game, now you're both even keel in terms of fatigue. Because the ball is moving. And somebody's going to break down. See, in that situation, I always like the Knicks' chances. Because it's not just straight head-up defense in the first quarter. You got to play that 48 minutes. You got to play that in the fourth quarter. And part of that is how well did you move the ball? How hard did you make that other team work to stop you in your ball movement? And how hard were you working to stop them? And that was the ball game. See, it wasn't Tibbs' rotation. Although I do have to agree, Deuce McBride only played 14 minutes. You want to win or don't you? See, that's where I look at it. I'd be like asking Tibbs, you want to win or don't you? I can understand Fournier, but to me, the weakest defender off the bench by far is Hartenstein. Hartenstein is horrible. I mean, I'm watching him and I'm yelling at the TV, please take him out, please take him out, please take him out. And he did take him out. He played him 15 minutes. He played him 10 minutes, which is 10 minutes too much. And he put Mitch Robb in there. Toppin was just coming back. This is his first game back. He only played 8 minutes, and that's about right. He's not going to be very effective his first game back after, I think he's been off at least a month, right? So he's going to maybe, a month or more. So he's going to be ramping up, as Thibodeau likes to say. He's going to ramp up. He did pretty good for the 8 minutes he was in there, but he needs to get his feet wet a little bit more. I am very looking forward to RJ coming back so we can remove Fournier from the rotation. Fournier can shoot, but as we know, he can't play defense. Okay, so when your team is working hard defensively, as the Knicks were for 3+ quarters of the game, and now you're fatigued because the other team's ball is moving, and yours not. You need RJ versus Fournier in that scenario. Okay, so I'm not gonna die over this. This is just one game out of 82, and we got actually a bigger game coming up. The game against Pacers is a big game, and the reason it is because the Pacers are now, because of the loss yesterday, one full game ahead of us in the standings. The Pacers have been neck and neck for the last month in the 6th seed. Pacers have been playing tremendous ball. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, and this is a big game, and that was the last game the Knicks won, if you remember, where Brunson dunked at the end and sealed the win for the Knicks. It was a very closely contested game. I think it was a 2 or 3 point game. So this is going to be a battle. Here come Indiana. I thought Indiana was going to be good last year, but here they come this year. And Halliburton is playing at an all-star level, and so is Buddy Held. And then, of course, you got Nembhard, who's keeping Mathurin from getting in the starting lineup. And Mathurin is my leading candidate right now for the Rookie of the Year. I know Paolo Banchero's killing it, but his team ain't doing nothing. Indiana's in the thick of it, and Mathurin is playing a major role in that. So I give Mathurin the nod on the Rookie of the Year right now. And he's killing it coming off the bench. So this is going to be the Knicks have got to take this and move on. But I hope they look at these assist totals. It does us no good for Brunson to shoot 30 times and score 44 points for us to lose at the end because we're not moving the basketball. Okay, we have got to move the ball. And again, Grimes has got. You cannot play a kid like this 35, 40 minutes and have him only have 7 shots. Okay, a guy that can shoot that, which most of us acknowledge, at least he's Allen Houston 2.0. You're not going to utilize him to his maximum potential if he's only getting 7 shots. Okay, he's got to get at least 12, 13, 14 shots. And they could have given him that. They could have set that up for him to have that. But, Randall, we were trying to get Randall going. He's 1 of 12 from 3. Like I said, he realized it wasn't happening, and he started changing his game a little bit. And Brunson was coming on at the end, and he's used to doing that because he's clutch. He comes up at the end in the 4th quarter, but it's the first 3 quarters. You have to establish ball movement. You have to establish that, okay? And that is what we were missing last night. Quickly play, and I thought so. I knew that the kid from Duke, what's that boy's name? He could not guard. Grayson Allen. He could not guard Quick. I knew it, and I knew Quick could guard him. Grayson Allen was 3 of 6. He got 11 points, but he was occupied trying to guard IQ because he could not guard IQ. I knew that already, and IQ responded with 23 points and 4 rebounds. He had 0 assists. Now, why did IQ have 0 assists? Because they weren't touching the ball, and so when they got it, they were going to go with it, and that's what he was doing. See. So and again, I put it on Brunson. He's going to set the table for the team. He's the point guard. He's going to set the table. And I'm not saying, what I am saying, and he's very capable of doing that. He has the talent to do that. See, I don't mind, of course, him taking over a game in the last 3 minutes and hitting all those big clutch shots. We need that. But during the first 3 quarters plus, the ball has got to move. You cannot win a game in NBA on a consistent basis with 16 assists. Just not going to happen. And look, they only had 7 turnovers the whole game. They only had 7 turnovers. The Knicks were controlling the ball well, but it's just that nobody else was touching it but Brunson and Randall. Can't have that. Can't have that. And even Randall had 5 assists. He led the team. He had 5 assists. And a couple of times, he should have shot the ball when he gets inside there and he was trying to pass it. Or he's spinning in the air. Randall does what he does. He's not going to stop doing that. But he's doing a lot less of the jumping in the air and trying to pass at the last minute to some odd place. He only had 3 turnovers. Okay, so I'm not going to kill Randle about that. But the hustle that he showed, all I've ever wanted from Julius Randle is two-way hustle. And he's doing it. He really is. He's putting his all on both ends of the floor. That's all you can ask for from this guy. And that's, to me, the path of a superstar. Kobe, for example, was a ball hog. But you know what? Kobe was also all NBA defense. See, because he brought it 48 minutes every night. There was no let up on either side of the floor from Kobe Bryant. All right, no let up on either side every night, and he'd do it. I don't know how many times he played 82 games, but he'd do it. Especially the younger Kobe. Yeah, he was all that. So he was one of those few players that could hog the ball, but at 6'7", 6'8", or whatever he was, to lock up anybody he's guarding. Every night. That's something else, see? And so that, to me, is the path of a true superstar. You got to play both ends of the floor. Julius is now committed to doing that. What he needed, apparently, which he didn't have before, was a point guard, and he got some wings he could trust. He's got a big center he could trust. And now he's got a team around him, and he's learning how to play within that team concept. I'm very surprised, happy, with Julius Randle. I was not expecting this year. So I'm very happy with him. No, he didn't shoot the ball well, but if you watch the game, he was all over the floor. And I really, and diving on the floor. So yeah, if we can keep getting that for him, we're gonna be in good shape. Okay. So, but again, to me, the main issue is Brunson has got to distribute that basketball. He's got to establish early everybody touching the ball, but particularly when RJ comes back, RJ gonna get hit. And maybe that's what we need. Because maybe Brunson I don't know what it is with him and Quickly, because Quickly need to get the touches too. But RJ going to get his. RJ going to get his touches. No doubt about it. Okay. And that's going to help the team when RJ gets his touches. Okay. Then you'll be back up into the 20s on the assists, because now you got RJ, Julius, and JB having to get their touches. But I'd like Grimes to, while RJ is out, to get at least 12, 14, 15 shots up a game. That will help us win. And Deuce has got to play more than 15 minutes. I was hoping he would get 20 last night, but he got 14. He's too good on defense, and he's now starting to find his shot to be keeping him to 14 minutes. If you want to win, then you want to lock somebody up. Okay, so anyway, that was that game. We have to move on. The next game is tomorrow. We can't dwell on this Milwaukee game because there's a big one tomorrow. It's a big game because tomorrow, if the Knicks win this game, they remain tied in the 6th seed with Indiana. If they lose this game, they go 2 full games back. They're probably 7th or the 8th seed at that point. Now, they can recover from that. I mean, we still got a lot of games to play, but every game is important. As I said, somebody was like, well, this is important. No, every game is important right now. From game 41 on, they are all really important. In an 82-game season, your first half of the season, you're trying to get yourself set up, established, rotation, and all that. But your second half of the season, you're fighting for playoff positioning. And now it's a dogfight. So this is very important. This game tomorrow against Indiana is at the Garden. Let's hope our dudes are ready to play. I like the way this time Julius said it, and it means something. Sometimes he would say this, and we got to move on. We miss shots, we make shots, we make them mislead, move on. And he's right. We got to move on. Milwaukee's over. Let's go next. Next game, Indiana. We got to focus on that. The games keep coming, and this is a big one. So y'all have a good Tuesday. Let's root for our team to take this W tomorrow in the Garden against the Indiana Pacers, who are going to be coming for revenge. That we beat them in Indiana in a close game in the 4th quarter. It's going to be a dogfight. Hopefully that ball starts to move. I'd like to see at least 25 assists tomorrow. We'll see. So